Stage and film actor Jan Potměšil passed away on Thursday at the age of 60, a loss that was confirmed by his wife, Radka Potměšilova, who shared the news with the Czech news agency. His death marked the end of a life that had been shaped by both artistic dedication and personal resilience. In the final 3 years of his life, the well-known Czech actor had been struggling with serious health problems, enduring a difficult period that tested his strength and perseverance. Those close to him were aware of the challenges he faced during this time, as his condition gradually worsened, yet his legacy remained defined not only by these final hardships, but by the determination and conviction that had characterized his entire life. Long before his health began to decline, Potměšil had already established himself as a figure of remarkable courage and commitment. In 1989, during one of the most pivotal moments in modern Czech history, he became actively involved in the anti-communist protests that ultimately led to the Velvet Revolution. This was a time marked by widespread unrest, growing resistance, and a collective desire for change, and Potměšil was among those who chose not to remain silent. Instead, he stepped forward, fully aware of the risks involved, and aligned himself with those demanding freedom and reform. His involvement was not passive or symbolic, it was direct, consistent, and deeply engaged. During Polák Week, a series of demonstrations commemorating Jan Polák and protesting the communist regime, Potměšil attended gatherings that were often met with repression. These demonstrations were not merely acts of remembrance, but powerful expressions of dissent, and his presence there reflected his willingness to stand alongside others in defiance of authority. At a time when such actions could carry serious consequences, his participation demonstrated a level of conviction that went beyond personal safety. In addition to attending demonstrations, Potměšil took on the responsibility of helping to distribute the manifesto known as Several Sentences. This document, which called for political reform and respect for civil rights, became one of the defining texts of the opposition movement. Distributing it was an act of resistance in itself, requiring courage and a readiness to face potential repercussions. By contributing to its circulation, Potměšil played a role in spreading ideas that challenged the existing system and encouraged others to question the status quo. His commitment extended further during the November events of 1989, when protests intensified and the movement for change gained momentum. During this period, he took part in the actors' strike, joining fellow performers in a collective stand against the regime, as it demonstrated solidarity within the artistic community and highlighted the role of culture and public figures in advocating for political transformation. For Potměšil, this was not simply a professional decision, but a moral one, rooted in his belief in the values being fought for. Beyond the capital, his efforts continued as he joined trips aimed at spreading information about the anti-communist protests in Prague. These journeys were crucial in ensuring that people outside the city were informed about what was happening, helping to build a broader base of support for the movement. Traveling to different areas, he became part of a network of individuals working to connect communities and share a common message of resistance and hope. These trips required not only dedication, but also a willingness to face uncertainty, as the situation remained tense and unpredictable. It was during one of these journeys that a life-altering event occurred. The trip ended in a traffic accident that would change the course of his life forever. At just 23 years old, Potměšil sustained injuries that left him confined to a wheelchair. The suddenness of the accident, combined with the severity of its consequences, marked a turning point that could have ended his career and altered his sense of identity. For someone so actively engaged in both artistic and civic life, the impact was profound, introducing a new set of challenges that would require immense strength to overcome. The period that followed was defined by a long and demanding process of treatment and rehabilitation. Recovery was neither quick nor easy, and it required patience, determination, and resilience. Adjusting to life after such a traumatic event meant confronting both physical limitations and emotional struggles. Yet throughout this time, Potměšil demonstrated the same perseverance that had characterized his earlier actions. Rather than allowing the accident to define or limit him, he approached his recovery with a focus on rebuilding his life and returning to the work he valued.